Hi guys, and welcome back to the Iron Personal Training YouTube channel. We're back with week 3 of my off-season training. So this is the third week, last week of the current block. We're doing sets of 12 and we're doing safety bar squats, and we're up to 150 kilos. For what was meant to be 3 sets of 12, but as you'll see in the video, I can't count and actually only did a set of 11. But I did promise that in the other 2 sets I did get 12 reps. So high rep squats are something that I've started to do a lot in my off training. As you'll see from, if you've watched any of the other off season videos, I like to do really high rep stuff to start. And I think the thing that's had the biggest impact is actually high rep squats. Like I'm doing here 150 kilos, no belt, no knee sleeves, no nothing. It's not that long ago that if I was doing a set of 5 of these, I would feel like I needed to have, belt, knee sleeves. So I'm really happy with how my squats are going on, and doing these high rep squats really builds my confidence as well. So being able to do this weight without any belt, without any knee sleeves, it just means that when I go to heavier weights, I'm feeling much more confident. And like if I can do this weight with no kind of support, like completely raw basically, then I'm going to be able to do these heavier weights quite easier. The hardest thing with these squats isn't necessarily the weight, it's because I'm, again, not really used to doing the high rep work. It does take a lot of time to do, and you do feel knackered by the end of it, and I did have to do a lie down after the last set. We then actually did some deficit snatch grip deadlifts for 110 kilos, but I forgot to film then. So what we're doing next is some lateral step ups. We are just finding a plate here. So what we're doing is, it's really good to have a elevated heel while you're doing these. It just makes the movement a little bit easier and a little bit more pleasant. So that's what we're going for here. We're holding 25 kilos in the opposite leg to what we're working. So it really works your adductors. It very much mimics that feeling you get when you start to push off for a squat or a deadlift. And it's an exercise that I've put in recently, or starting from like the last block really. We're getting ready for the powerlifting games, and it's had a really good effect. So something that I'm definitely going to keep it in. Single leg work is something that's often overlooked in powerlifting, but it's really good for building that balance that you might not have. So say you've got one leg slightly stronger than the other, or one leg that fatigues much quicker than the other, you need to make sure you're working each leg individually. Same with the upper body as well. It's good to do some single arm stuff as well, especially things like rows and lat pull down. So as you can see, we're just getting ourselves ready for these, and as you can see, everything's a lot of high volume. There's nothing super heavy, and like I say, we're just trying to build that muscle mass up, get those motor patterns reset into the body so that we're ready when we get to the heavier stuff again, which won't be coming for a few blocks yet. But it's just getting you ready. It's like a priming block basically. It's just getting you ready to go for when you do start that heavier work. And I found that what I used to do is I used to just try and lift as heavy as I could all the time, and my progress just stalled massively. So this has really helped me improve all my lifts and really push them like much further than they were before, and has led me for last year being my best powerlifting year by some margin. So what we're doing now is we're doing some cable hip flexor extensions. So obviously your hip flexors come in through your hips down like the front of your quad is the best way of thinking of them. Really important for having power out of the squats and power out of the bottom of a deadlift as well. Again, this is something that I added in my last block, and it's had a massive effect. It's one of those areas that's often forgotten about and is easily missed by people, but it's crucial to, again, having strong squat or deadlift as well. Can help a little bit with leg drive even in the bench as well, but it's just about training those areas that get forgotten, and really making sure that you don't leave any stones unturned when you're trying to get as strong as possible. And I would highly recommend doing these. If you don't have access to a cable machine to do these, you can do them with a kettlebell as well. You'll just want to stand on a slightly raised surface so the kettlebell doesn't have to touch the ground after each rep. And yeah, do them and just see how your power out the bottom of a lower body movement improves. Finally, for the video, we come on to some single leg glute bridges or single leg hip thrusts. Again, I found these really beneficial. I feel like I might have had in the past a bit of a strength imbalance in my glutes, and this seems to have been able to balance them out really nicely. So I'm really happy about that, and it's made obviously my deadlift lockout much stronger, as you saw from my last comp, and also helped with locking out squats as well. So we did finish off with some core But that was it for the end of the video. So do hope you've enjoyed, guys. More videos coming very soon as we start our next block of off-season.